Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome back to Let's Play Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver for the Sony PlayStation 1 and the Sega Dreamcast and PC. In the last video, we made our way into this submerged monastery, and we made some progress, and this is where we need to go next. Let's go through this door and somehow get blasted by a sea serpent enemy. Or not. I'm really starting to not like the game. And I'm going to explain why as we go through this area. So, battle system. Cumbersome as anything. If you get hit even once, if you're anywhere below full health, you immediately lose the Soul Reaver, and you have to completely refill your health to get it back. And since enemies can easily cheap shot you, that's a pain. Also, you're expected to know what to do the first time you're in an area, and yet if you're not, you actually have to just experiment with everything and just play around with everything and interact with everything. Also, those first two jumps are easy. These two are not. You need to use the high jump and the glide for this, and you need to be close to the edge of the platforms before you do the jumps. And the game punishes you horribly if you can't do anything right. So you need to go back over here and do this all over again in case you mess up. And what am I doing? I'm not in the material plane. I need to get back. Okay. There we go. All right. Are you serious? People praise this game. And I'm like, how? How do people still praise this game? Getting around is cumbersome. Fighting enemies is cumbersome. Even platforming is cumbersome. I should not be accidentally sliding off the edges of platforms. And now I need to get over here. Well, that makes things simpler. He got in the water and got away from me while trying to simultaneously attack me. And now I have no weapon as I go through here because there's going to be more sea serpents. Now, believe it or not, you actually have to go through the water here. You will be going between the two planes as you figure out what to do next. Now, you're probably expected to think that you can go around that. Actually, that area is where you're supposed to go. You may think you're supposed to go over here. No. This is for when you mess up later on. Instead, you're supposed to go over here. You're supposed to do some high jumps. And you're just expected to know that you can go over here and go to the spiritual plane. Not the spiritual plane, but the material plane. Now you can actually jump into this wall and climb it. But unless you're paying attention and you're looking around everywhere, you're not exactly going to know that. From here, you have to go into this little nook. Grab yourself a weapon because, of course, you're going to lose the Soul Reaver. And then you're going to have to jump from one wooden platform to another. And if you mess up, the game seriously punishes you. You have to get your health back, do the backtracking, and then do this all over again. I like the graphics, but they're so dark sometimes that I can't figure out where it is that I am. And it's also harder to see my shadow as a result. And because of that, it kind of makes the controls a little cumbersome in that regard too. And that's on top of cumbersome battle controls too. I wanted to jump! These controls are not very responsive sometimes. I don't know what you want me to say about these controls. Sometimes I want to press circle to absorb a soul or something, and Raziel doesn't get into the position. He doesn't do the thing right away. And that leaves me at the mercy of the enemies. I'm trying to absorb a soul, and I can't do it unless I let go of the button and press it again. Because I pressed and held circle too soon. Okay. Now it's time to go through here and somehow get blasted by a sea serpent enemy. Or somehow not, because I was prepared for it and I just managed to avoid that fate. And then I get hit by that anyway. Now you actually have to use your projectile to blast that window down. And then this happens. Because I thought I was close enough to the edge of the thing, and I wasn't. So now, I'm going to have to go through this area again, and do all this again. I have to do all this backtracking just to get to a platform. How is this fun? For real. How is this fun? And somebody's going to be like, well, gee, Watercress, get good. I'm playing this as well as I can. And I'm doing practice runs to see what I need to do and figure out what I need to do. YouTube has also been a godsend in this case. Yes, I'm going to say it. But this is really annoying. And look who comes back. These guys. I need to be lined up. Thank you. Yeah, you need to glide to each and every one of these platforms. And now, I'm going to have to make a high jump from here and glide to the roof. Now from here, I'm going to walk around slowly and carefully to figure out where I need to be, and it's right there. I'm going to high jump and glide, and believe it or not, the game does not tell you that you can press square on this chain to ring this bell. You actually have to do this because this opens a door that is at the bottom of these stairs. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you couldn't tell from looking here, it's underwater. We're going to have to go through water, but that's okay. Now, you're probably wondering, hey, Watercress, why don't you save your game so that way you can get back here without having to do all that again? Well, here's the problem. Let's say I save the game, because I might as well just go ahead and do that, just to save my sanity. Now, if I were to quit the game and then reload, it doesn't take me back here. It takes me back to the beginning of the game where the Exalted One is. I have to use the teleporters and then work my way back to where I saved. The game festers quests you with the save system. Which is the biggest inconvenience that this game has. Which means I would have to work my way all the way back here so I can go from one platform to another. And even though everything's kind of spaced a little more evenly, look right there. I easily slip off. Doing almost anything in this game is a pain. And now, are you serious? You're gonna do this to me? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I feel like I don't have control of my jump sometimes. It's like I have to let go of forward before I land. Anyway, now that we're up here, we're going to go to the physical realm, the material realm, and we're going to have a boss fight.
Rahab, you have adapted well to your environment, for one so maladjusted.
Do not mock me, Raziel. You of all of us should respect the power bestowed by a limitation overcome. Kain said you would come.
You speak with the murderer?
You would do well to mind your blasphemous tongue.
What more did he tell you?
That you would destroy me.
I will indeed. But tell me, before I tear your soul from its moorings, do you know what we were before Kain spawned us?
Human.
Seraphan, Rahab, the antithesis of all we ever believed.
Does it matter? We were lost. He saved us.
Saved us? From what?
From ourselves.
And from here is boss time against Rahab. That's what you're supposed to do. So there are a bunch of stained glass windows in the walls, and you need to jump from platform to platform to avoid getting zapped, but also to, well, aim at some of the stained glass windows. Now here's the thing. In order to hit them, you have to hold L2 and R2, hold down triangle, move around with the D-pad, move the camera around with the D-pad while you're holding all three of those buttons, and let go of triangle while still holding L2 and R2. The game in no way, the game itself does not tell you that you can do this. The manual does. But if you don't have the manual, you will probably have no idea that you were supposed to do this. This is probably the gripe about this game that is going to just stare me in the face the longer I play it. Nothing is intuitive, but at the same time, you're expected to interact with everything the instant you get somewhere, and it's almost like you're expected to know what to do, even if you don't. You have no hint system, controls sometimes feel cumbersome, battling sometimes feel cumbersome, you're left to your own devices, you're forced to look everywhere, mess with everything. It makes me miss Blood Omen so much. Anyway, let's break some more windows. In case we hear Rahab laugh, he will shoot at us. And he just hit us. And we just slipped off. Wonderful. Excellent. Which means we have to get our health back and then get up to where we need to be. Somehow get this guy out of our way in case he messes with us and our ability to jump from platform to platform, which will be a thing. So all those gripes I mentioned, yeah, it just makes the game so hard to enjoy. People praise this game. But I'm beginning to wonder if it's really worth the praise. Just because you're just running around like a chicken with his head cut off with no idea of what to do. At least everything kind of stays the way it should. In case you get knocked in the water. So at least there's a saving grace right there. But anytime you switch planes, enemies that were originally defeated, they come back. I've mentioned everything that has just annoyed me with the game. This game is beatable. But oh man. There are some things I like about this game. The graphics to an extent. I just wish they weren't so dark all the time. The music, I do like. I mean, If you've watched the first, probably like at least the first 2 videos, you know that I've gushed on about Kurt Harland and basically said, hey, listen to his music, y'all. I've done that. But everything else about the game just feels like something you have to overcome just to enjoy it. And there is so much to overcome when it comes to enjoying this game. And I'm not exactly happy about that. And this is the last one, I think. No. Hey. No, this is the last one. I still have to hold L2 and R2. There we go.
Infused with Rahab's soul, you have overcome your former vulnerability to water's touch. Immersion in water will no longer dissolve your physical body, enabling you to swim to areas heretofore beyond your reach.
And with that, Rahab is gone, and water no longer sends us back to the spiritual realm, which is good, because I did not like that. So, the game does tell you that while Rahab and his brethren did overcome their weakness to water and basically became fish vampires, they were still weak to the sun, as vampires are. But that's really the only hint that you have. And if you don't have the manual, you don't know that you can do all this. Which is absolutely frustrating to me. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and save my game, even though it wouldn't bring me back here if it did. I don't like that. I hate that the game festers quests you with the save system. I'm just so frustrated now. It's beatable, but it's just so frustrating. I don't know what to say. It's beatable. There are things to like about it, about this game. But there's a lot of frustration. Anyway, join me next time where we explore the water without being turned into a ghost, basically, and see what we can do next. Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching!